Hey there everybody, I hope you're doing well and I welcome you to my video. Today I'd like to show you all how you can find the area and the perimeter of some very simple 2D shapes. So just to give you a rough idea of what 2D means, it essentially means that all of the values can only go along two axes. So this is a horizontal line, and this would be an example of a one-dimensional shape, or a 1D shape, okay? Because it only has values that stretch along this line. Now, a two-dimensional shape would be something that has this horizontal component, but it also has a vertical component. Let me try to straighten them up. So this is a rectangle, which I'm sure you've all seen before. It has a horizontal component, and it also has a vertical component. This is a two-dimensional shape. And now we, of course, have shapes that are, even higher dimensional than this, like cubes, for example. They look like this. They have a length, a width, and a height. So if you take a look at this cube, which I've roughly sketched, you have this value, which is, let's say, the width, and then you have this value, which is the length, and you have this value, which is the height. And so because you have three different axes over here, we call this, because you have three different axes over here, we call this three-dimensional. But let's not worry about that for now. Let's just focus on these types of shapes, okay? So the simplest shapes that I can talk about in 2 dimensions are probably squares. A square is just any shape that has 4 sides and all the sides meet at perpendicular angles, meaning they meet at these 90-degree intersections. And of course, all the side lengths are equal to each other. So this side is equal to this side, and that's also equal to this side and this side. So opposite sides and adjacent sides, opposite is this, adjacent is this. All of those sides are equal to each other. Now, the way you would find a perimeter for this kind of shape, or really any two-dimensional shape, is just to calculate the sum of the length of this side, this side, this side, and this side. So if you represented side length as S, then the perimeter, which I'll represent as P, would be 4S, or S plus S plus S plus S. You're just adding up all the different side lengths. So just to give you an example, imagine S was 4. Then you just have to multiply 4 times, which would be 16. Which you can also do by adding 4 plus 4, which is 8, 8 plus 4, which is 12, 12 plus another 4 is 16. So that would be the perimeter of this square. Now, for a bit of a more complicated example, but not really too complicated, is a rectangle. Now, of course, all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. And really, the difference here comes from the fact that, yes, these opposite sides are equal, but the adjacent sides are not equal, all right? And these two sides could be 2, let's say centimeters, and this side could be 6. So in that case, you can't just multiply 4 times one side. You would need to multiply this side, and you need to multiply this side by 2 because it's repeated twice, and you have to multiply this side by 2. So the formula here for the perimeter, if you want a formula, is 2 times length plus 2 times width. This could be your width, and this could be your length. So in the case of this rectangle up there, it would be 12 plus 14, which is, sorry, not 12 plus 14, 12 plus 4, which would be, coincidentally, 16 again. Now, the next kind of shape that you can look at is a triangle. Again, to get the perimeter of a triangle, very simple. You just need to add up all the lengths of the different sides. So let's say you have 3 over here, or let me make it better. 5 over here, 4 over here, and 3 over here. The way you get the perimeter is just adding up all the different side lengths, which is very simple. 3 plus 4 is 7, and 7 plus 5 is 12. So That's the perimeter for this triangle up there. Okay, and yeah, here we can talk a little bit about parallelograms, shapes that look like this. These two sides are equal, and these two sides are equal to each other. So maybe this could be like 8 centimeters, and this could be like 10 centimeters, or let me make it smaller. Let me make it 6. Okay, 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 6 is 22. 22 plus another 6 is 28. So the perimeter of this shape would be 28. Okay, now let's talk about area. Area is essentially the region that is inside all of these different shapes. So it would be this area for the, it would be that region for the parallelogram, it would be this region for the triangle, it would be this region inside for the rectangle, and it would be this region inside for the square, which is also a rectangle, by the way, just a special kind of rectangle. So the way you get this inner area for a square is actually by multiplying the sides with each other. So 4 times 4. Or you can say 4 squared. And the answer to that is just 16. The way you get the area for a rectangle is again by multiplying this side by the adjacent side. So 6 times 2. You would need to multiply the length and the width. Length times width, 6 times 2, 12. Okay? So notice in this case, even though this shape had the same perimeter as this shape, their areas are actually different. The area for the square was 16, but for the rectangle is actually lower. It's only 12. That's, I guess, one difference you can note. Okay, moving on to the triangle, the way you get the area of the triangle is actually like this. 1/2 the base, which is 4, times the height, which is 3. So 1/2 times 4 times 3. Which in this case would be 3 times 4, which is 12, times 1/2, or also divided by 2, is 6. So that would be the area of this triangle over here. And the reason why we have to divide by 2 is actually, if you notice, a triangle is nothing but half of a rectangle. So let me just draw maybe a red opposite triangle like this. So you see, this triangle has an equal height of that one, has an equal base of that one. So they're actually virtually identical triangles. And if you try to calculate the area of this, assuming it was one big, rectangle, if you recall, the way you get area is just multiplying the two sides together, two adjacent sides. 4 times 3, 12. But since we're only dealing with, just this portion, we need to divide it by 2, because these are two equal segments. So when we divide by 2, 3 times 4 divided by 2, we get 6, which is the same as this formula over here. Okay, and then for the parallelogram, we need to know the height in order to calculate the area. So the height would be this line over here, whatever this line is. So let's just say hypothetically that the height is 5. Okay, let's just say it's 5. So the formula is actually the same as the formula above. Area is equal to base, which is 8 in this case, times height, which is 5 in this case, and then you need to multiply that by 1/2 or divide it by 2. Either works. So 8 times 5 is 40. 40 divided by 2 or times half is 20. So that's the area of this shape over here, and I hope this video was informative. Thank you guys for watching.